You know, I talked about Chrono Trigger not too long ago on the channel, but I think I should talk about it again. When I last played Chrono Trigger, there was something I noticed that I've never seen anybody else talk about. In a lot of stories that aren't set in our own world, there are different rules to the world that need to be established and explained in order to make the viewer be able to make sense of it. This is a common rule of storytelling you see passed around, though I don't personally think it's necessary, but whatever. Anyway, writers have had trouble writing down and establishing lore for a very long time. And here's where Chrono Trigger's main mechanic, time travel, comes into play. Chrono Trigger is a game about going through various areas of time in order to find a method of defeating the alien Lavos so it doesn't destroy the world. Each area you go to, more clues are uncovered until eventually the party gets strong enough to face off against it. In doing this, you must thoroughly explore the eras and learn about the people and cultures of them, and through that you begin to learn the history of the world. Chrono Trigger's lore is told by having you actively take part in the events of it, so you're invested in the world building without you even knowing it. As an example, you go to 600 AD, 400 years before the game's present time, which is 1000 AD, early on in the game chasing after a friend who was transported there by accident, and learn about the war on Magus that took place during this time. You engage in an infiltration mission against one of Magus's bases of operations, the Manolia Cathedral, and through doing so you learn more about the history of the world and the lore of the war that happened a few centuries before Chrono's time. You could have learned about it earlier in the game if you talked to a certain NPC at the Millennial Fair, but you only learn about it now through the story. And this is the best way you could have learned about it. The only reason this war was even won was because of the player. You. You were the one who helped win it. And so the lore is not only experienced through you, but it's also partially made by you. You go to prehistory and you're the one who helps humans survive against the reptiles, which are an intelligent species of lizard people. Without your help, humans would have gone extinct, and this shows the war between the reptiles and the humans amazingly by throwing you straight into the center of it. As you progress through the game, you learn more and more about Lavos, the Dreamstone, and the Masamune, and how all of those things connect and intertwine back to occurrences in 12,000 BC. Before this, all you know is Lavos is a powerful parasite of some kind, the Dreamstone is a magical rock, and the Masamune is a legendary sword that is capable of hurting magical entities, most notably Magus. This visit to 12,000 BC changes everything. Lavos isn't just a parasite, he's a power source that the people of a magical kingdom in the past have been using to run their civilization and learn magic. Magic is harnessed energy from Lavos itself, and the Dreamstone is residue from Lavos' landing that can destroy parts of him. That's why magic users are susceptible to the Masamune, because it's made of Dreamstone. Not only was it made of Dreamstone, it was originally known as the Red Knife, and was specifically created to destroy the Mammon Machine, the conduit used for Lavos' power. You learn all of this not through a text dump that obviously lays out all the connections for you, but just by playing through the game and experiencing the plot. It's all showcased phenomenally well through the events that happen in the Kingdom of Zeal, to the point that you probably won't even register that tons of exposition is being dumped on you the entire time you're playing Chrono Trigger. Frankly, that's the mark of a really good game. A game that's able to show its world building to you not through exposition or out-of-the-way reading of lore. You'll even have to go to outside of canon material for you to learn and enjoy this game's history. In fact, this might be one of the most novel uses of time travel I've ever seen. Time travel as a device for world building. Aside from a few side quests in the late game, the typical time travel plots aren't utilized at all. And really, that's just something super unique and interesting to me. This has been Arcade and Everlasting, the world's second biggest Chrono Trigger fan, signing off. Thank you for listening.